Hi, dear ones. We are talking today about your nervous system and your embodied experience of this time of pandemic and physical distancing. Okay. I did a live on this a couple days ago where I talked you through all the different nervous system states and what your body mind might be going through trying to keep you safe right now. And I want to give you all that information here where you can continue to access it, right? So the nervous system basics that we are working with are understanding that your nervous system is designed to keep you safe and alive and functional, right? So with that basic understanding, your nervous system is constantly assessing both your internal world and your external world for perceived threat. It's constantly making snap judgments about the level of safety versus threat that you're experiencing. Depending on what it assesses, how it figures that out, what information it takes in, it compares that to what it already knows of your experiences of danger and threat and safety. And based on those kind of imprints in you, then it will try to kind of run through a ladder or more of like a wheel of mechanisms that might keep you safe, of ways of protecting you if there is a threat, right? So the first thing that happens, there's three primary states in the nervous system that are designed to keep us safe and well, right? So let's say we take in information that we assess as a threat. The very first reaction that our body will have in order to try to keep us safe is the part of the nervous system that is designed for social engagement. In the safe and social part of our nervous system, we are in social connection, we are in health, we are in states in our body that are restorative for us. This is where we can access pleasure, and this is where we actually continue to affirm for ourselves that we can be in safety even in response to this threat, right? If our brain, our body mind assess that being in social connection is not working to keep us safe, then we move into fight or flight. Fight or flight is the state that a lot of us are fairly familiar with, that is really in signals to the body and is an expression in the body of feeling like we're in danger, right? So our heart rate goes up and our body actually prepares to either run, like our lower body gets ready to run as fast as it can, and our upper body prepares to fight if it needs to, like literally physically throw punches. Often this comes along with shallow breathing and actually looking for danger, like actively scanning the horizon for things that might be a threat to you. If fight or flight isn't going to work for the threat that you're facing, then your body mind will drop you down to what is called shutdown. Shutdown happens in the body when your nervous system assesses that a situation is life-threatening. So it's not going to keep you safe enough to connect with other humans, and it's not going to keep you safe enough to run or to fight. When it decides that a situation is life-threatening, this expresses as the body completely numbing, you losing certain sensation, maybe fully disassociating, your blood pressure will drop, your heart rate will drop, and this is really actually a very wise thing that your body does to try to give you an opportunity to escape the pain of actually dying. So those are the three primary states, right? Safe, social engagement, danger is fight or flight, and then life-threatening is shutdown. We also have mixed states. So in between social engagement and fight or flight is play, which is exactly what it sounds like thinking of kids playing capturing the flag. You know, you're sort of scanning for danger, you might be active in your brain trying to think through strategy and teamwork, and your body's in a state of play. You know, you're not assessing anything life-threatening or anything to really be overly reactive towards in terms of danger, but you are active and you're socially engaged, right? In between fight or flight and shutdown is a state called freeze, right? Freeze is actually something that many of us do often these days. Like when we scroll on our phones for a long time, that for most of us, is an expression of freeze, right? Because the body's pretty still and restricted and shutting down in certain ways, but we're keeping the brain active in scanning for information, and we come into a mixed nervous system state through that, where we're kind of scanning. I know it doesn't always feel like threat, but the way that our brain perceives it is scanning that information on that level of intake heightens our awareness. At the same time, our body's kind of shutting down, right? And then in between shutdown and safe and social is a state called stillness. In stillness, we're in a state like in meditation, or when we are accessing the relaxation that comes with yoga or restorative somatic practices, or even going to the bathroom. We're in a state of stillness in order for our body to be safe enough to defecate. So those are all the nervous system states. I have a couple posts ago that's a nervous system wheel that gives you a visual for all of that. So because your nervous system is actually just designed for the scale of you and your immediate social network, like our nervous system didn't actually evolve for us to be able to assess threat on a global scale. Our body's not designed to think about things on a global scale. A lot of our bodies are having a hard time processing what is going on right now, right? So we are going through a pandemic on a global scale that we don't have any reference point for. And so because we have no reference point, and because the level of threat is beyond our body's comprehension, for many of us, this means that we're jumping between those different protective states, right? So for a lot of people, I was hearing in the first week of isolation, those of us with a lot of trauma in our histories were kind of like, I know what to do. This makes sense in my body, because they're used to a certain level of hypervigilance. I also know some people who were experiencing a lot of anxiety from being more in that fight or flight mechanism. But then as this has gone on, I've also heard a lot of people say that they're kind of going into this place where their body's shutting down, they can't focus, they're getting a lot of extra rest. And all of these responses are normal, right? I'm saying all of this to normalize whatever your body is doing to try to keep you safe is reasonable, because it doesn't have a reference point for this, and we're working on a scale that is larger than the body knows how to comprehend, right? So that's the take-home message here. Whatever your body is doing is coming from a wise place in trying to keep you safe. So the number one thing that we can all put into practice right now is recognizing that. And when old habits or old coping mechanisms are coming up, giving ourselves a moment to say, I know my body is trying to keep me safe. This might not be the coping mechanism that I want, but there is wisdom in my body trying to keep me safe right now. And then learning those nervous system states makes it much easier when we can identify where we are. We can help move ourselves back towards the part of the nervous system wheel that is about safety. Because sometimes when our tendency is to be in the more protective states for a long period, we need some conscious engagement with the more safe states, the stillness, the social engagement, the play. So that's all for now. I'll keep updating you with tips for how to put that all into practice. I'm sending you all so much love. Stay safe and well.